So Dan, can you talk to us about the five different types of deal that you can make in the rank and rent business and when to use what? I know there's some guys out there that are talking about you just want to do flat fee, right? Everybody wants that flat fee deal. And then but we also know that there's a lot of students in our program that's making a lot of money on commission, like 10% off of a $6,000 kitchen bath remodeling. That turns into a pretty sizable check in some of these niches. I know when I got started, I did a lot of commission just because it was a much easier way to get my foot in the door. And a tree care company is still cutting me a check for $1,000 to $2,000 a month on commission and then eventually flat fee. But yeah, can you just walk us through the five different monetizable ways of selling a lead gen property?
I'll go through them real quick with you. Obviously, commission. And when you say commission, what you mean by that basically is if a call was to come in through your lead gen properties, you would be paid as soon as that deal was finalized, meaning the person paid let's just say it's a tree care guy. The person pays, you bring in the lead, the customer that you brought them ends up spending $2,000 in tree care. You guys agree to a 10% deal. You get your $200 commission upon that deal, right? That's commission. In the past, commission is the easiest deal to get. Okay. But it takes a little bit more management, meaning that you got to be on top of your stuff because you're only getting paid when your deals come to fruition. And so in the past, this was a lot more difficult than it is now because of AI. So in the past, you had to go back and listen to each and every call and read the transcripts. But now with AI, we could take those same things and actually have the AI go through all that stuff and find us where deals, appointments were booked and these different types of kind of signals, if you will. And that could be being done really easily now. So in the past, that was someone's full-time job, right? So commissions, a lot of people would shy away from it, even though it's an easy foot in the door. But with AI, I believe you can monitor it a lot tighter. Okay. But commission, when you're first getting started out, I would recommend everyone go get some commission deals because it just gets you into the game. It gets you something to start working on. It gets you a target that you could start focusing on. And for the business owner, they have no risk. They're basically like, hey, yeah, you send me your calls, you send me your leads, and yeah, I'll pay you that 10% when we close a deal. And in their mind, they're winning. If you just brought them a whole freaking bag of cash that they don't have to put anything up front for. If you think about that, I want you to think of it like this. I live in Las Vegas, so I drive down the Las Vegas Boulevard. There's billboards everywhere. Imagine if one of those billboard companies came to me and said, hey, we got this billboard. You put your phone number up on it, and anytime someone joins your training program, we just want a little commission. But you don't have to pay for anything. I'm doing that. Like, it's a no-brainer deal, but it's also for them, they lose out on possibly selling that same billboard for $30,000 a month on Las Vegas Boulevard. So each side has their different risk tolerances and how they're going to make it work. Now, if that billboard's been sitting empty for 6 years, then you start to get smart on how you want to monetize it and you start coming up with different ideas. The same thing would be true on television commercials or magazines. Imagine a TV commercial back in the day where you could get it for free and only pay when customers bought your ShamWow or whatever it is. Like, everyone would be running commercials, right? So there's a dance to it. After commission, which is the easiest to get going, and I think everyone should do it in the very beginning because I think it's wise and it opens the door to a lot of places for you. You got pay per call and pay per lead. We could make them one could be, they could be separate or they could be together, right? Pay per call, it's just what it sounds like. Every time a call comes in, you can set a price on what that call is worth. Plenty of billion-dollar companies run this exact model. You can look at Angie, ANGI, used to be Home Advisor. This is how they do it. They do calls and they do leads, and it's expensive, and they sell them to 5 or 6 of the same type of a niche company. So if it's tree care, that same lead will go to 5 companies and they all pay $25, $25, $25, $25, $25. They just made $125 on one piece of data that they grabbed. So realize that these models are tried and true. They've been around a long time. But again, pay per call or pay per lead is like that. It's that one step back from your commission deals. It's a little bit more risk. And the objections you hear are like, what if the call doesn't go through? What if they don't buy? I still have to pay you. And it's like, there is some training and understanding that you got to like explain to them. Because like, you're paying, if you buy an ad in the yellow pages and it's $3,000 a month and you get 10 calls, you're not worried that you paid $300 a call. You just know that you could budget that $3,000, and most small business owners don't even look at the calls. The ones that are really smart will take you up on pay per call or pay per lead because they know their numbers. And they're going to know really quickly if these leads that you're bringing in are the types of leads that are going to be conducive to the types of clients that they work with. And so I like a pay per call and pay per lead deal. I've also built all of our platforms to do the tracking for you. So you're not sitting there going, oh, it's another $5, it's another $20, whatever. It literally, you put their card on file. When the call goes in, there's all these parameters. For instance, if the call is less than 60 seconds or whatever you want to set it with the business owner, we have all these parameters built in that it won't charge it as a lead unless these things happen. You can block out spam calls and all those. We don't charge for that type of stuff. But pay-per call and pay-per lead, if you can find the business owner that's with it, that knows their numbers, it's a great model. And you can make a lot more money than some of the other models. Because if you get your leads really cooking, your income's going up every lead you're bringing in. A flat fee caps you. I like flat fees just like everyone does. But a flat fee caps you at a certain earning potential. I've done this several times with several different industries that I've worked with, not where I'm currently at, but back when I was first getting going. And I wanted the flat fee because I needed a predictable amount of money coming in so I could keep my business running the way I wanted to run it. But what I did was I screwed myself a little bit on how much money I could totally make on some of these deals because my my leads just kept going up and up and they stayed at the exact same price. But you got to look at all these different ways that you can bring income in. And then you got to look at the risk tolerance and where you're at in your business. And then you make these decisions on a case by case basis. Knowing all these different models to sell is super important and it's super helpful. So I really do want you guys to really understand these things intimately, because when you're talking to a business owner and they tell you, nah, Dan, I don't want to pay you $3,000 a month. When you have 4 or 5 other pricing models that you can start moving to, you become a solution oriented marketer. You solve problems. And I'm telling you guys, the best problem solvers are the best entrepreneurs. Like the more ways that you have to go in any sort of conversation, I don't care if it's you're talking to your wife, the more ideas, the more ways that you have already thought through, already studied, and already have decent understandings of how to explain them, the better you're going to be off in these different situations when sitting with these business owners. So I really want you guys to understand these things. I want you to understand like a commission is your least risk and there's a spectrum of it. And we have a ton of training on this stuff. We have graphs. We have ways to look at this. We have ways to break it down for you guys. But that's the high level. Past that, there's hybrid. And hybrid's a cool model, but it sounds like just what it is. It's mixing and matching. So that might be like, hey, instead of $3,000 a month, they told me no. I hit them back with, hey, if I was able to do it for $1,500 a month and do the rest on a pay per call or pay per lead model or the rest on a commission model, would that work better for you? So it gives me a way that I could still lock in a few of these different models together and I can massage the deal a little bit more. And I can make sure that this business owner sees that I'm willing to bend and move and shake with them. And I'm going to have a lot of ideas. I'm not the radio stations or the billboard companies. These guys have rate cards and they don't have much movement. This is your company. This is your business. This is your product. You can move and shake with these different pricing models as much or as little as you want. And the last one that's never really brought up, but I've used it for years, is barter. Some places I would do a lot of business at. I told you guys in earlier videos, I like looking at where I spend money because where I spend money, I feel like I have a license to pitch. I have a license to go make an offer because they know I'm a client and they don't want to piss me off either. So in some of those situations where they didn't want to piss me off, but they didn't have the cash flow ready or the deal didn't make sense to me, I would say, hey, look, I'm already doing business with you. Why don't we just do this on trade? And their cost of goods, if they sell a $100 product, their margin might be $60, $50, who knows what it is, depending on the industry, right? $30, depending on what they're selling. So like when they're doing trade with you, they're buying at a massive discount based on how big their margins are. And so that's another really great way to lock in early deals. And again, if you save $1 on something you were spending your 20 or $50 on every week, you went to the same restaurant or you went to the same place every month, if you're saving that money now and you're doing it in the form of a barter, this is now creating an extra 50 to $100 for cash flow that you were spending at that place now. So it's just a different way of exchanging money and it's a different way of exchanging services, but it shouldn't be forgotten because, man, I've had sushi for years at places for free. And just the stuff that I knew I was going to spend the money there anyway. It was part of my patterns of life. And so I made the deal easy for everyone. Everyone was happy. And then you get referrals from that stuff.
Awesome advice. Also keep in mind, guys, some business owners are going to be more open to pay-per-lead model. Some you might have to do commission first to earn their trust. For example, if the business owner is already on Thumbtack, they're already buying leads for, let's say, $20 a lead. They already have a general idea of like how much they should be spending for a lead. So then it's going to be an easy sell for you to come in and offer them a pay-per-lead, knowing that unlike Thumbtack, we're going to be exclusively sending our leads to you. you and not sharing it with other companies. And also companies that are running AdWords, they have a general idea of how many leads that they're generating per month and how much they spent on those leads. So these business owners that are already buying advertising, they're going to be much more easier to close them on like a pay-per lead model. But if that doesn't discount, there's a lot of opportunities of business owners that are just getting started. They don't have budget for advertising. I've partnered up with many business owners. They all they had was like a pickup truck. And so they're not savvy about marketing. They don't understand like pay-per lead. So it was much easier for me to close them on like a commission. That's anyone can understand commission. So then build that relationship. And over time, after a month or two, like they were down to do whatever kind of deal with me. So keep that in mind.